The goals not yet achieved are probably the ones that cause you to second guess your goal overall, your strategy, and your tactics. Hello, 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 and welcome to More Than Money, a podcast where we have nuanced conversations about money, business, and life, where we take the time to explore the human side of money, because success with money is never just about the numbers. I'm your host, Jaquette Timmons, and I am really, really glad that you are joining me today. Now, before we dive into today's episode, I am asking, yes, yet again, for your help to help commemorate and celebrate the upcoming milestone. We are inching closer and closer to our 200th episode, and I am beyond excited. And I'm inviting you to help me commemorate this milestone. I would love to feature your voices vis-a-vis dedicating the entire 200th episode to answering your questions, or maybe answering the questions that your family and friends tend to ask you because you are the go-to money person in your inner circle. So to submit your question, go to jaquettetimmons.com/more than money -200. Again, jaquettetimmons.com/more than money -200. And oh, by the way, if you did try to submit a question before and you got an error message on that page, it has been fixed. So please give it another shot, because I cannot wait to celebrate the 200th episode and to answer your questions, or the ones from your family and friends, the ones that they tend to ask you. But in the meantime, let's dive into today's episode. As I'm recording this, it is late August, and I know it is sort of premature to hop on the end of the summer bandwagon. After all, the first day of fall is about a month away. But let's be real, a mood shift is afoot. And I felt it even during my morning run, because it was a little cooler today than usual. And then add to that the sun is now setting before 8 p.m. The evening weather is changing, and the usual get back to events that scream fall is coming are all in full effect. And unlike at the beginning of the year, when you might say, I have time to fill in the blank, and you do have time to do whatever you filled in that blank with, at this time of the year, you have much less of it. And lately, I've been thinking a lot about time, especially as it pertains to goals I've yet to achieve. How about you? How are you feeling about the passage of time and the goals that you've yet to achieve? Are you feeling confident about your current game plan? Because if you keep doing what you are already doing, you will cross that finish line before the clock strikes midnight on December 31st, and you'll be able to say, yay, I did it. Or are you wondering if you need to start doing something differently in order to close the gap between where you are right now versus where you want to be? More than likely, you've got a few goals that fall into both categories. I know that I certainly do. And today, I want us to focus on those that fall into the latter camp, the latter group, because the goals not yet achieved are probably the ones that cause you to second guess your goal itself, to second guess your strategy and your tactics. And they may even chip away a little bit at your confidence as you wonder, what am I doing wrong? What's missing? Or maybe that's just a question that I ask myself. I don't know. But ultimately, the goals that fall into the not yet achieved category and also feel like, not quite sure I'm going to make it by the end of the year, they make it really clear that something is amiss. And the question then becomes, but what, right? What is amiss? What's missing? And possibly why? In my opinion, the process of identifying what is amiss and getting in the way of you achieving your goals is just as important as the process of achieving your goals. Important and confounding. And let me just say, I do not profess to have this conundrum figured out at all. But there are some questions that I am noodling on for myself, some of which I've pulled from the Feed the Meter guide, and it's one that I use with my coaching clients, so they're quite familiar with this. And so I'm happy here in your ear and on your screen to share them with you in today's episode in hopes that they can help you too. So here's the first question. What will happen if you don't achieve this goal? What will happen to you and potentially to others? No doubt, many of us have a complex relationship with failure. We live in a culture where the tendency to share highlight reels of our successes and our success stories can often make those moments of failure feel like a character flaw, rather than it's just a part of the process. So, is not meeting a particular goal putting your life, your business, or the condition of your finances in jeopardy? This question isn't designed to get you off the hook for trying to figure out what is your next move, what do you need to do? Rather, it's an invitation to check your perspective. Because how you answer that question, whether it is, I should say, how you answer that question, whether your answer is yes or no or maybe, it will help you to redefine what success and failure look and feel like. Here's the second question. Are you afraid of success? I once had a coaching client reach out a little more than a year after the conclusion of our engagement. And in the email, she shared that things were going really, really well and that she had reached all of the goals that we had mapped out. And she went on further to say, and I quote, that all of this success and control is weirdly stressful. Again, culturally, we have a tendency to dismiss success anxiety, or what I describe as the stress of success. And alongside that, we minimize how much a new level of success may require you to step out of your current comfort zone and find a new comfort zone. And I often say, and maybe you've even heard me say it, you have to navigate and negotiate new financial, emotional, and maybe even spiritual roles and responsibilities with each new level of success. When you reflect back on the goals that you've set, that you've yet to achieve, did you anticipate how you would respond if you actually succeeded with achieving it? No, seriously, did you envision what would be different to and for you? And not only what that would look like, but as important, what it would feel like. This question is designed to remind you that you often have to adapt once you actually get what you want. Because sometimes something about you, your habits, your environment, or maybe even the people with whom you interact or serve has to change in order to make room for what's now new. Here's another question, and it may feel a bit on the nose, if you will. What did you miss? When it comes to creating a roadmap for your goals, there is always a high chance that you'll miss an important step or misidentify a milestone, that you will under or overestimate the length of time that it will take to reach the goal overall, or the incremental milestones in between, or underestimate your current capacity in terms of time, energy, and other resources, as well as what will you need in terms of capacity once the goal is achieved? Again, adaptation. This question is designed to help you to zoom out and to zoom up so you can gain a broader perspective about your situation and turn your feelings of frustration and maybe even confusion into insight and fuel. Because like most experiences that don't turn out the way that you want, trying to figure out why you're not achieving your goals and what you might need to start doing differently is really an opportunity to reflect and evolve. Now, technically, we've got 4 full months before we reach the end of the year. But in reality, you and I really don't have all that time. We don't have all that time to close the gap between where we are right now and where we want to be come December 31st. So here's another question for you to contemplate. What do you need to eliminate in order to remove what's getting in your way? Because what you get rid of just might help you to increase your clarity around what your next moves are and how you're going to make them happen. It might help you to simplify a task or a decision you are currently overcomplicating. And it also might help you to evaluate your boundaries so that you can manage your time, energy, and resources better. Because they always say, creativity is born from constraints. This is the question that I've been asking myself. And perhaps it's a carryover from the professional organizer with whom I've been working this summer. But this, coupled with what I describe as my goal slump, has me curious about what mental or emotional clutter I need to discard too. My hope is that what I discover from asking this question and others will help me to see more clearly what currently feels obscure. And I also hope it will help me to be more strategic about what I need to do next. So here's a quick recap of the questions. What will happen if you don't achieve this goal for you or for others? What will happen to you and for others? Are you afraid of success? What did you miss? And then what do you need to eliminate in order to remove what's getting in your way? So which of these questions will you ask yourself, if not all of them? Send me a DM on Instagram to let me know. Well, that is it for today, folks. As always, thank you for listening all the way until the end. Or if you're watching on YouTube, for watching all the way until the end. Thank you for doing that. And before you hop, if today's episode sparked an aha or reflection, I'd love to hear more about that. So again, please send me a DM on Instagram. And don't forget about my invitation to join me in preparing to celebrate the 200th episode. Submit your questions at jacquettetimmons.com/morethanmoney-200. Once more, thank you for listening today. If you'd like to show appreciation for this podcast or perhaps this particular episode, please share it so that we can reach more people. And if you happen to be listening on Apple Podcast, please take a moment to leave a rating and a review because we do indeed read them. And likewise, if you are on YouTube, please leave a comment below. And as always, if you'd like to buy me a coffee, here's how you can do that. JacquetteTimmons.com. I'm sorry, not JacquetteTimmons.com. Rewind. Go to buymeacoffee.com/Jacquette. Again, buymeacoffee.com/Jacquette. I'll be back with another episode, and I hope you will too. Until then, remember, it's about more than money.